So as Patrick Peterson approaches our location, there's the headset for you, sir. We appreciate you coming to see us. Dalvin Cook is going to stop by when we finish up with Mr. Peterson. Thank you for coming to see us. We appreciate it. How did today go for you guys?
I thought today was pretty smooth. Coming back off the off day, coach is always trying to find a way to keep us engaged in certain situations. So, thought today practice went very well.
So you're a veteran player. I always am curious to know, when you're a veteran player who kind of knows how to prepare himself for a season, what do you try to get? What have you learned about the best ways to get the most out of training camp without obviously killing yourself?
For me, I take the approach of, making something a point of emphasis throughout, that week. So, like last week, it was all leverage, pad level. This week is going to be eyes and depth from the receiver. So it's just always trying to find something to consistently work on that maybe been a weakness or something I want to make a strength. Just continue working on that, until I feel comfortable enough to start, making a point of emphasis on another, skill set in my game.
So in terms of, you've been around this team the entire offseason, obviously. The new staff has been here for a while. You've worked with a number of different staffs, number of different styles. So what stands out to you about what is different, what is distinctive that as a veteran player stands out to you in terms of approach of preparing a team for a season?
Since sports sciences have made its way to the NFL, teams are definitely taking heed of that. Taking all the information that they're getting from the trackers, from the plates in the weight room, and things like that. They're understanding the body much better than they did, let's say 6-7 years ago.
Sure.
So coach is doing a great job of looking at all the data that the strength staff gives back to him, and they put together a plan to where our body will always be at its peak when we need it. So this training camp is a lot different from many training camps that I attend. We have some low days, we have some high days. Coach just trying to do as best as he can to implement game reps, but also having the body understanding when the body needs its break as well.
So does that still allow for enough intensity when you need to be reminded that it's football? This ain't flag football. This isn't badminton. This is football.
Oh yeah, no. Football is football for sure. And when we put the pads on, we have enough veteran guys here that understand. When we got these pads on, it's a work day. It's not no day we going out there, lollygagging. This is when football is actually being played. So we want to go out there and put our best foot forward at all times, because how we're practicing with the pads on, we want to make sure that carry over to the game on Sunday.
It's no secret that this defense the last couple years was not up to its previous standard.
Yep.
And that's probably part of the reason the changes were made. A specific problem was end of halves and end of games, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So how cognizant are you of that, and what goes into changing that and putting the defense back into place where it's a significant part of why this team can recover quickly?
Well, it started with, bringing in Ed Donatell in, having the resume that he's had over the last decade, being with the 49ers, the Bears, Denver, so the things what he's been able to put on his scheme that he's been able to put on tape, it's been remarkable. And, now that we have him here, I believe the majority of the guys that was here last year, we understood that was our Achilles heels last year. So we're taking a point of emphasis into practice, making sure that we dominate those situations, because I saw a stat, I forget, maybe like 3 months ago, if we don't allow teams to score before half or at the end of the game, it would have been like 15-2 or something crazy like that. So
I believe it.
We understand that that's going to be a huge point of emphasis on the defensive side of the ball going into this 2022 season. We've been working extremely hard out here and throughout mini camp, OTAs, and training camp now. So now we just have to go out there and put the work on tape.
Patrick Peterson is our guest, Vikings cornerback. As again a veteran guy, I'm very curious to get your view on this. I worry sometimes that for players it becomes too easy to make it about well, the coach we had was part of the problem, and the new coach we have is part of the solution, and that it takes that can be oversimplified.
Yeah.
You've been around, and my gut tells me your relationship with Mike Zimmer was good, that you enjoyed playing for him. So do you worry about that as a veteran guy, that players make it too much about the coach, like that guy was the bad guy and now we got the good guy?
No, I never, fall into that trap. At the end of the day, at some point, teams or whoever, they're looking, if it's not working now, they're always looking to move on, and that's just the matter of the fact, and that's just the business that we work in, so Coach Zim did a great job here last year, because that was the only year that I was here with him. Upstairs just felt like he wasn't the guy for the job, and they wanted to go. I don't know if they wanted to go younger or offensive side of the ball. I couldn't tell you, but
sure.
Those guys upstairs, they make all those decisions. I had a great time with Coach Zim, and that decision was out of my pay grade for sure.
You strike me as a player who has worked with a lot of different coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Some that might be screamers, some that might take a more quote-unquote positive approach. But do you buy, as a veteran guy, I'm not trying to make you sound like you're 50 years old, but
Yep.
You've been around a little bit. And the theory is that the younger players, it's harder and harder for them to accept a lot of that old world approach, that they do need more positivity, they do need more stroking, whether it's right or not, that's what they need. Do you observe that? Do you think there's some truth to that?
I would say it's definitely a different era. I would definitely say that, because when I was coming into the league, it was a lot of yellers, a lot of older guys. I believe, I think the average age was 27 when I came into the league. Now it's 21. So it was a lot more screaming now than it was now. You have more, I guess, like you said, old school style coaches. But as we get older, the guys who are coming in and the guys who are the cornerstone of the team is much younger. And just as coaches, you just have to learn how to evolve with that. I feel like you could still be a yeller, but at the same time, you have to understand your personnel, understand who you're yelling at, understand who you're singling out per se, because a lot of guys think their manhood may be challenged. So it is what it is, but this generation is definitely different.
Last question. When you make a coaching change, a lot of times the feeling is, well, it's going to take time for the team to sort of gel. But do you view this, based on previous successes, the talent that you still have here, do you view this as a season that you believe this team can immediately become a playoff caliber team that can make a run immediately?
It's hard to say that right now. I know there's no doubt in my mind I believe that, but at the end of the day, we have to go out there and prove it. We have to go out there and execute the game plan. We can't have no my bads. We can come up with the greatest game plan ever, and if we don't go out there and execute it, what good was that game plan? So it's going to come down to the ownership on the players. And like you said, I believe now having the guys going through what we went through last year, coming into this year with a whole new focus, a whole new regime, and just a determination to get back where we belong. And I love the fact that we're riding under the radar right now. That's exactly how I like it. And when we get there, don't be surprised, because we won't.
Appreciate the time, man. Thanks for coming to see us.
All right, guys, no
Patrick
problem.
Peterson helping us out. Dalvin Cook is going to be up here in just a minute as well. It's a pretty good day when you get these two guys back to back.